Hello, welcome to this lecture on presentation layer. In this lecture, we will discuss about the functionalities of the presentation layer, different and the design issues of the presentation layer. So, presentation layer actually it belongs to the higher OSI layer. It is the sixth layer of the OSI model, and upper OSI layer can be thought of as the user support layer, and they allow interoperability among unrelated software system. So, presentation layer is concerned with the syntax and semantics of the information exchange between two systems. It is concerned with the syntax and semantics of the information exchange between the two systems. So, this is the position of the OSI layer, this lie between the fifth layer and seventh layer, session layer and application layer lies between session layer and application layer, and then one header has been added here at this layer, just 6 has been added here at this layer in this layer. So, these are the responsibilities of the transport layer. Main responsibilities of the transport layer are translation and then encryption, decryption, third one is authentication and then compression. So, we will discuss one by one translation and then encryption, decryption. Actually, encryption, decryption it falls under the cryptography component of the cryptography. So, little bit we will discuss here about the cryptography also, and then authentication and then compression one by one. So, translation. The internal representation of a piece of information might vary enormously from one machine to another, The presentation layer is responsible for solving this problem, and there are two approaches for solving this problem. One is direct method and another one is indirect method. So, ट्रांसलेशन अगर हम इसको समझना चाहें, ट्रांसलेशन जैसे सपोज करिए आप हिंदी लैंग्वेज में बात करते हैं, इंग्लिश लैंग्वेज में बात करते हैं, यानी कहीं पे चाइनीज़ में बात हो रही है, लेकिन सभी लोगों के लगभग कंट्रीज़ में इंग्लिश एक ऐसी स्टैंडर्ड लैंग्वेज के रूप में है, और उसमें से आप किसी कंट्री में जाते हैं, आप इंग्लिश लैंग्वेज करते हैं तो बहुत सारे ऐसे लोग मिल जाते हैं जो इंग्लिश को कन्वर्ट कर सकते हैं किसी भी, जर्मन में, फ्रेंच में. सो यू नीड नॉट बी टू वरी टू स्टडी अबाउट अदर लैंग्वेजेस. So, there are that concept is there in direct method and indirect method of translation. In direct method, suppose there are two computers in which internal information in which they are represented differently in different systems, such as suppose in one it has been put in form of ASCII, and in another one it is put in the form of another system, another format, and you want to send some message from this computer to another one, suppose 1 to 2, then what will happen? There is a need of converter which will convert this ASCII format to this EBCDIC format, and if it is done at the receiver end, then it is known as the direct translation, but this method is not always useful. For example, if you are sending suppose connecting with several you are sending the message to several receivers, 100 receivers, 200 receivers, then everyone need such converter at their end, and if language changes, then more problem will occur. In indirect method, firstly we will convert it into the standard format, and then at the receiver end, at the sender end we will convert it into the standard format, and then at the receiver end the standard format will be converted into the required one. So, that is known as indirect transfer, indirect translation. For example, just I have earlier said that English language, we want to go to some country, suppose जर्मन आप स्पीक करना चाहते हैं, लेकिन इंग्लिश में आपने उसको कन्वर्ट कर लिया, और इंग्लिश से जो है जर्मन में बहुत सारे लोग मिल जाएंगे उसको कन्वर्ट करने के लिए. तो सिमिलरली ये सेंडर इंट पे आपने स्टैंडर्ड फॉर्मेट में कन्वर्ट कर लिया एंड देन रिसीवर इंट पर जो है EBCDIC कन्वर्टर उसको स्टैंडर्ड फॉर्मेट EBCDIC में कन्वर्ट हो गया. So, one it is recommended by the OSI indirect method and the recommended model is abstract syntax notation. Abstract syntax notation. What is abstract syntax notation? This model not only take care of the translation problem, but it also handles other formatting problems such as change in such as different type of data, text or program, and the diversity in data storage, and it is its implementation is independent of the format, and ASN1 uses the concept of object. Actually, it is an object is an information entity which uses the type and value, and with this it can be translated to another system very easily. एक अगर एक एग्जांपल और हम लोग यहाँ पे डिस्कस करना चाहें, जैसे सपोज करिए आप किसी अच्छे हॉस्पिटल में एम्स में जाते हैं और वहाँ पे आपको अगर कंपोनेंट्स आपको मेडिकल आप लेने जाते हैं तो मेडिकल आप दिखाने जाते हैं तो कंपोनेंट्स आपके मेडिसिन के जो भी कंपोनेंट्स हैं दैट वो आप लिख दिए गए. जैसे कि मान लीजिए आपने $0 कोई टैबलेट है फीवर के लिए लिया है तो उसमें आपका क्या कंपोनेंट है वो अगर $0 आप मांगने जाएंगे कहीं दूसरी जगह पे जहाँ यूज़ नहीं हो रहा है तो नोबडी will be able to understand it, but if you will write the components that what components are there, then other people can understand it. So, that is being provided by the ASN1 model. Similarly, second important aspect of the responsibility of the presentation layer is encryption and decryption. So, as already I have said that it falls under the cryptography, and see in this diagram here a sender sends a plain text, then it is encrypted, and then this ciphertext is moved towards the network, and then at the receiver end then it is again decrypted, and then it is converted to plain text, and receiver know what message has been sent, message has been sent to it. So, to carry sensitive information, system must be able to assure privacy. So, what are the such system where more sensitivity is required, such as military or banking system, more privacy is required. It is unlikely that any system can completely prevent unauthorized access to transmission media any. So, क्या करना चाहिए, वी अल्टर दी कोडेड जो आपने मैसेज भेजा उसको हम थोड़ा सा अल्टर कर लेते हैं, जिससे कि अगर किसी ने एक्सेस भी कर लिया है, somebody has accessed it, then he is not able to understand it what message has been sent. So, there are two types of methods. In general, there are two type of method. One is conventional method and another one is public method, public key method. So, in conventional method what is we will use encryption key and decryption key. Encryption key for encryption and decryption key is used for decrypting the message are the same and secret. So, conventional method can be broadly categorized into the into two categories, character level encryption and bit level encryption. Character level encryption, in this method encryption is done at character level encryption, and it is also can be categorized in two categories, substitutional and transpositional. And in bit level encryption techniques, data as text, graphics, audio or video are first divided into blocks of bits, then altered by encoding, decoding or permutation, rotation or exclusive OR and other methods also. So, conventional method can be categorized into two methods, two broad category, character level encryption and bit level encryption. And in character level encryption there are two methods, monoalphabetic substitution and polyalphabetic, monoalphabetic substitution and polyalphabetic substitution. This has been pictured here, and for example, it is dear friends. So, suppose ASCII code of D is something, and then we will add some key has been added here. Suppose you will shift it up to 3 points. So, D is converted into E F G, and then E is converted into S. Similarly, it has been done here, and then at the receiver end when we will decrypt it, then we will subtract these 3 keys. So, G is again converted to D, but it is easy to snooper can also easily crack it. Second one is polyalphabetic substitution. It is relatively more powerful than monoalphabetic substitution. Here position of the letter matter. Suppose D is on the first position, so it is converted into E. E is on the second position, so second position, so F and G. Similarly, A is converted into D, and second year is, you see here second year is converted into this another word GLIA. So, but here in conventional method you see you can observe that the encryption key and decryption key are the same. Second one is bit level encryption, which is done at the bit level, and first one is one method is we have taken just 2 example, rotation and exclusive. In rotation, here this is the message 0 1 1 0 0 1 1, and after one rotation this 1 has been converted here, then 1 0 1, and after that 0 0 1 0 1 1 0 0 1 0 1 1 0 0 1 this, and after 2 rotation, two rotation this 1 1 will come here, 1 1 will come here, and then this remaining message 0 1 1 0 0 will come here from here to here. So, this is the, and after 3 rotation, similarly after 3 rotation this position 0 1 1 will come here 0 1 1, and then 0 to last 2 this will come here, 0 1 1 0 0 will come here. Similarly, in exclusive OR method, a key has been used and the message, this is 8 bit plain text and this is key, and if you will see if both these are same, key and the message are same, then it will convert it into 0, otherwise it is 1. So, 0 1 1 1 1 0 and 1 0 1, and similarly here 1 1 same. So, it is 0, and the same key is again used here for decrypting it, and if these are same, then it will be converted into 0, otherwise 1, and you observe that the same message has been received which has been sent by the sender. So, this is the we will discuss in exclusive OR method, we have discussed in, and another method is public key method. So, public key, this method RSA method, RSA encryption, this was proposed by Rivest, Samir and Adleman, and in this one party uses a public key KP, the other party uses a secret key KS, both uses a number n. So, here the secret key, the encrypted key and decrypted key are different. So, the whole idea behind RSA is the way in which this KP, public key, secret key and this n are chosen. This is done using number theory. So, first choose 2 large prime number p and q, 2 large prime number p and q, and then compute n is equal to p into q, and then calculate another number phi is equal to p minus 1 into q minus 1. This number phi, compute this phi number, then choose in third step, choose a random integer kp which is not a factor of phi, then choose a number ks such that kp into ks is congruent to 1 modulo phi. Choose a number which is not a factor of phi, it will be kp, and then ks will be chosen such that kp into ks is congruent to 1 modulo phi, and then in last step announce kp and n to the public and kept ks and phi secret. In next step kp and n to the public and kept ks and phi secret. Then how we will encrypt it? Encrypt it as C is equal to ciphertext C. Suppose some this is computer is sending some messages, computer A, and this is receiving in computer B. Then some message is coming, then it will convert, suppose it is in character, then we will convert it into the bit and plain text message bit, and then it will be converted into the ciphertext C is equal to p to the power kp modulo n, and then it will go to the that side, decryptor side, and then here with the help of decryptor key Ks, it will convert it into P is equal to C to the power Ks modulo n, P is equal to C to the power Ks modulo n. So, again you will get the original plain text message P. So, what is the restriction here? For RSA to work, the value of P must be less than the value of n. If P is large plain text, then we need to be divided into blocks to make value of P less than n. For example, suppose here choose P is equal to 7 and Q is equal to 17, then n is equal to 7 into 17 109. Choose K P such that it is not a factor of P minus 1 into Q minus 1. So, P minus 1 6 and Q minus 1 16 96. So, 2 and 3 are factor of this. So, 4 are factor. So, it will not be chosen. So, what will be the value of K P? Value of K P will be 5 because it is not the factor of 96. So, what will be the value of Ks? Value of Ks will be chosen such that 5 into Ks modulo 96 is equal to 1. So, value of Ks will be, what is the value of Ks? It will be 77, you can check it, 77 into 5, 77 into 5, 385, and it can be written as 96 into 4 plus 1, 384 plus 1. So, that has been explained here also, that some character has been sent from the sender A customer to the bank, and suppose code. So, F later F has been sent for just for explaining the thing. So, F is coming at the 6th position in A B C D E F. So, it is in the 6th position. So, and the number K P is 5. So, what you will do that what you will do that this is equal to C in previous slide. C is equal to P to the power K P modulo n, P is 6 and K P is 5. So, 6 to the power 5 modulo 199, and that can be computed as here it is 41, 6 to the power cube it is 216 is congruent to 97 modulo, when 216 is divided by 119, then it 97 will come as remainder. Similarly, in 6 square is congruent to 36 modulo 119, and then A is congruent to B, A1 is congruent to B1, A2 is congruent to B2, then we can multiply it. So, 6 to the power 5 is congruent to 97 into 36 modulo 119, and it will be 3492 modulo 119, and 3492 can be written as 29 into 119 plus 41. So, it is 41 modulo 119. Similarly, 41 here. So, in next one see previous slide, P is equal to C to the power K s, here C is 41. So, K s is 77. So, 41 to the power 77 mod 199, and this is 6 again, and that is how it is being converted into that one. So, how we will deal the security? Security mathematician have calculated that for example, it would take several years to find the prime factor of P and Q of number with 100 digits. Here in we already know that value what is prime number P and Q choose, but if some snooper will try, then it will take several times. So, that is very tough task. So, it will not be able to do that easily. So, this is highly secured method, and then authentication. Authentication verifies the identity of sender. In other words, an authentication tries to verify that a message is coming from an authentic sender and not from an imposter. In network, you cannot personally sign the request for withdrawal. You, however, can create the equivalent of an electronic or digital signature by the way you send data. One method of authentication is called digital signature, which is based on the public key encryption, decryption. Its implementation uses the reciprocity of RSA. K P and K S are reciprocal to each other. Digital signature added another level of encryption and decryption to the this is decryption to the process as discussed in the next slide. Here another level of encryption and decryption has been used, say K s minus 1 and K P minus 2. So, some plain text has been sent from customer to this, then it uses this secret key K s minus 1 and convert into the ciphertext C1, and then this ciphertext C1 is converted into the ciphertext C2 through this public key K P minus 1, and then by this when this come to this bank, then this using this secret key case minus 2, it will convert this C 2 into C 1, and then this copy of C 1 is being saved by this bank and for further use, and then C 1 is converted by this public key K p minus 2, it is converted into K p. And if suppose some dispute arises someday, and this customer says that I have not sent this message, and then bank can say that we will take this copy C 1 and apply K p minus 2, and it will generate P, and will say that this has been sent by you, because bank cannot generate C 1 because it does not have the K s minus 1 until it has created this C 1 through K s minus 1, and this message has been sent here, it not possible for the bank. Obviously, if it claim customer can claim that it has been hacked by someone, then but then liability does not lie on the bank, and the court can say that bank is not responsible for such loss. Then last aspect of this representation layer is data compression. Data compression actually reduces the number of bits to be transmitted. नंबर ऑफ बिट टू बिट, कितना भी सपोज करिए आपके पास कितना भी ट्रांसमिशन मीडियम फास्ट हो, लेकिन अगर एक अलग टेक्निक है कि कंप्रेशन, डेटा कंप्रेशन करने की, कि ज़रूरत आपको पड़ेगी कि कितना मैसेज आप भेजना चाह रहे हैं और फिर आपको कहीं दोबारा ना ट्रांसमिट करना पड़े. सो ट्रांसमिट यू how to compress the data. This is very important aspect, and you have seen it many aspect of life also. So, data compression becomes particularly important in the transmission of multimedia such as text, audio and video. Data compression becomes particularly important in the transmission of multimedia such as text, audio and video. अभी जैसे हम लोग देख रहे थे कि कई बार आप फाइल्स जिप करते हैं फिर भेजते हैं, तो जिप करके आप मेल पे भेजते हैं. अदरवाइज़ क्या होगा कि मेल मान लीजिए कितनी भी स्पीड हो आप मेल से भेजने का, अगर उसको 10 बार में करेंगे तो 10 बार करने का जो प्रोसेस, 10 टाइम्स करने का जो प्रोसेस है वो अलग टाइम लगेगा उसको. सो आप उसको जिप फाइल में इनक्रिप्ट करके कंप्रेस करके और डेटा को सेंड कर देते हैं. सो दीज आर दी data compression, the concept of data compression, and that has been handled at this presentation layer. And broadly we can divide the data compression method into two categories. One is lossless method and second one is lossy method. So, what is lossless method? In lossless method, you require what data has been sent, that should be the exact replica of at the receiver end, that should be the exact replica of the data which has been sent. So, depending upon the, you can say depending upon the application, depending upon the requirement, you can choose which method you want to choose, lossless method or lossy method. So, here lossless compression, in lossless data compression, the compressing and decompressing algorithm are usually the inverse of each other. They are actually the inverse of each other, and one such technique is run length encoding. What is how to deal in run length encoding? Suppose the same bits or character are occurring frequently. Suppose this is the message 3 3 3 2 5 5 5 1 2 3 0 1 9 7 2 5. Suppose this is the message, then how to the same bit is occurring, if same bit is occurring, then we can convert it into the suppose a special symbol mark this we use this special symbol, and then which symbol is repeating, and then how what is the frequency of this one. Suppose this is 3 times, so we will write it 3, then 2, then again 5 is repeating, then use this symbol, and then 5 is repeating and this is 4 times, and then 1 2 3 0 1 9 7 2 5. So, if such occurrence of bits are occurring, again then we can use the run length encoding, and we can use this type of technique, and similarly we can decode it. As I already said that the compressing and decompressing algorithm are usually the inverse of each other. And other lossless compression, what are the other lossless compression or statistical compression? There are basically three methods you can discuss: Morse code, Huffman encoding, and Lempel-Zhu-Welch encoding. In a statistical compression, basically the symbols which are occurring frequently, we use a short code for that one, and the symbol which are occurring infrequently, very less which has very less frequency of occurring, we use a large code for that one in a statistical compression. And for example, in Morse code we use as in alphabets, E is in English alphabet, E is occurred most frequently. If you will say, then there are 12% frequency of word E occurring in a text, random sample text. So, generally, so we can use simple dot for E, but 4 dot and 4 hash and 1 dot can be used for non occurring symbols such as Q or Z, etc. So, this has been similarly Huffman encoding, you are already aware in the data structure courses, etc. And then this one, and third technique is relative compression. Instead of sending an entire frame, we send only the difference between the consecutive frame. Difference between the consecutive frames, such as in commercial TV, you send the several videos, and brightness and color are same. If brightness and color are same, then what is the difference between consecutive frames? What is the difference that is needed to be sent? Just that is needed to be sent. So, you can reduce the size of the data. And another is lossy compression. Lossy compression, when it can be used when exact replica of the original information is not mandatory. When exact replica of original information is not mandatory, then it can be used. For example, you have studied about many mathematical transformation such as Fourier transform, etc., in which there are several coefficient, and if there is not a sharp boundary in the image, then first few coefficient actually capture the image of the the sketch of the image. And two major methods which has been used here are lossy compression techniques are joint photography expert group JPEG, and then motion picture expert group MPEG. So, in this joint photography expert group, basically picture and graphics are being converted through this method, and videos are converted compressed through motion picture expert group MPEG. So, thank you.